Sophia Tumanillo, and I've got Phoebe here. We're going to talk about saddle fitting. We've got two different types of saddles. I've got this big Western, and then we've got a treeless that we're going to try on her. When I'm good and ready to try a saddle on, the first thing I'll do is start on like this with no pad. Shake it where it needs to go, where it naturally sits. And I'll stick my hand up in here. Ideally, if I have another person, I'll have them lead them around while I keep my hand in here. This one right here pushes really tight, right where this cantle sits. It's pinching my hand, right where that's sitting. So I would probably not use this saddle on her, per se. It looks fairly level across here. It's a little high on this end, but it could just be just the way it's built. So that is how that saddle is. Once I get it situated, I'm going to try this other saddle on her. This one without the pad. Okay, it's a little lighter. So that one has plenty of free room up in this shoulder area. You can see in there. It's going to sit a lot lighter and looser on her, so that when you tighten down the girth, it doesn't pull down and restrict her shoulder movement. So I'll go ahead and get the pad really quick and throw that one back on there. We can play around with girth placement. So when you're saddling a horse, you want to put it way high up and then shimmy it back so that all the hairs go in the right direction. It's not all mushed up under there and uncomfortable. Make sure all your pad and your saddle are all the same area. This saddle is made for big fat ponies. So you're gonna want, when you sizing a girth, you don't want it to be on a traditional Western way up here, but you also don't want it way down here to start with. So this one's just about right. Situate everything. So when you're putting on a girth, you're going to want to not cinch it up real tight right away. So I'm going to go to the first hole or two to kind of let her get her air situated. A lot of horses will suck in air and make themselves a lot bigger than they actually are. So you might put your saddle on, tighten it the first time, leave them alone, go bridle them, go hang out with your other horse, do whatever you're going to do, and then just before you get on, go ahead and tighten it up. She's already got it loose again. Go ahead and tighten it a second time. I'd recommend, if you're going to do it, tighten it 2 or 3 times before you get on. And you don't have to yank it, just check it and then raise it up a hole or two. Same thing with the Western saddle, but with the Western saddle, it has a breast collar that goes down their shoulder blade, across their chest, and up the other shoulder blade. That keeps the saddle from sliding back or sliding around. If you've got a working saddle and you want to dally off of it, that'll help the horse be able to kind of sit and not get that saddle loose if your girth's loose. I use a back girth on my regular saddle. Your back girth, you don't want it hanging that far from their belly. Sometimes if you've got one you're breaking, they'll buck and get their foot stuck up in the back girth if it's got a big gap. But you also don't want it cinched so tight that it's uncomfortable. It's recommended to have about as tight as you do your own belt. So just enough where you can probably get your hand comfortably in there, but not so tight that it's uncomfortable. So then, see, she let out a lot of air on that one. And that would be the final time I tighten it before I got on. I'll check it again before I get on. But you want to be able to get your hand in there comfortably where it's not going to slide around. You can't like pull it out away from the horse, but it is snug. That way you don't fall off when you go to step up. That's how you fit and saddle a horse.